The grill sizzled like a confession nobody wanted to hear, flames licking up ribs slathered in sauce that smelled too much like regret. I stood there, beer in hand, watching Jackson's hand linger just a second too long on my shoulder, his wedding band glinting like a warning in the firelight. In that split second, the whole backyard party blurred into silence, and I knew. This line he was crossing wasn't just his. It was about to carve right through me. The summer air in suburban Chicago hung heavy that July evening, thick with the scent of charcoal and cut grass. The kind of Midwestern humidity that made your shirt cling like a bad memory. My best friend Tyler had thrown this barbecue to celebrate his promotion at the ad agency downtown. Nothing fancy, just the usual crowd from the neighborhood. Tyler's parents fussing over the potato salad, a gaggle of his college buddies nursing IPAs, and me, Logan Hayes, the perpetual +1 who showed up because saying no to Tyler felt like kicking a puppy. I'd known Tyler since freshman year at Northwestern, back when we bonded over late-night study sessions in the library and his endless supply of contraband energy drinks. He was the straight arrow type, married to his high school sweetheart, Emily, with a golden retriever named Max who slobbered on everyone's shoes. Me? I was the wild card, the openly gay guy who'd come out in high school and never looked back, even if it meant dodging sideways glances at family reunions. At 25, I was hustling as a freelance graphic designer, crashing on friends' couches between gigs, chasing that elusive stability that seemed to come so easy to everyone else. The backyard was a postcard of American normalcy. White picket fence, kiddie pool half deflated in the corner, fairy lights strung up like lazy fireflies. Laughter bounced off the chain-link fence as Tyler manned the grill, flipping burgers with the precision of a man who'd watched too many Food Network reruns. I leaned against the picnic table, scrolling through my phone to kill time, when Emily sidled up with a plate of deviled eggs. "Logan, you look like you could use some real food," she teased, her voice light as she handed me one. Emily was the glue in their world, blonde bob, yoga-toned arms, the kind of woman who baked muffins for the PDA and volunteered at the animal shelter. "Tyler's uncle just got here. You remember Jackson, right? From the wedding last year." I nodded vaguely, popping the egg into my mouth. The wedding, Tyler's sister's, a lavish affair in the suburbs with open bar and a DJ who wouldn't stop playing Sweet Caroline. Jackson had been there, Tyler's uncle by marriage, Emily's brother. Tall, broad-shouldered, with salt and pepper hair and a laugh that cut through the chatter like a bass line. He'd clapped me on the back that night, called me kid, in a way that felt avuncular, safe. Married to Aunt Carla, some high-powered lawyer who traveled more than she was home. I hadn't thought much of him since. Then, like a shadow stretching across the yard, he appeared. Jackson Riley, 42 going on timeless, stepping through the gate with a six-pack in one hand and a story on his lips. He was dressed down for the occasion. Faded jeans, a navy polo that hugged his frame just right, sleeves rolled up to show forearms tanned from weekend hikes in the Indiana dunes. "Ty, you son of a gun. Look at this spread." His voice boomed, all Chicago grit softened by years in the corporate world. He was a sales exec for a tech firm, the type who closed deals over steak dinners and remembered your kids' birthdays. Tyler bear hugged him, spilling a splash of marinade on the grass. "Uncle Jack, about time. Where's Aunt C? Still closing that merger in New York?" Jackson waved it off, cracking open a beer and tossing one to Tyler. Yeah. She's the brains. I'm just the charm." His eyes scanned the yard, landing on me like it was no accident. "Logan, right? The artist kid. How's the freelance life treating you?" I straightened up, feeling that inexplicable pull, the way his gaze held steady, not appraising but seeing. "Surviving," I said with a grin, clinking my bottle against his. "You know how it is. One deadline to the next." He chuckled, deep and rumbling, settling onto the bench beside me uninvited. Up close, he smelled like cedar cologne and faint cigarette smoke, the kind you catch on a winter coat. Hell, I remember my first gig out of college. Thought I'd starve if I didn't sell my soul to the man. But you got that fire in your eyes. Don't let 'em dim it. It was small talk, the polite grease of social lubricant, but something in his tone snagged. Tyler called him over to the grill for a photo op, and Jackson went, but not before his knee brushed mine under the table. A ghost of contact that sent a spark up my spine. I shook it off, blaming the heat, the beer. This was Tyler's family, for God's sake. Lines like that didn't blur here, in the heartland where flags flew high and marriages lasted, till death do us part. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in bruised purples, the party hit its stride. Kids from the neighbors splashed in the pool, their shrieks mixing with the sizzle of meat. Emily corralled everyone for a game of cornhole, teams forming haphazardly. I ended up paired with Jackson, naturally Tyler's doing or fate's cruel joke. We tossed bags back and forth, trash-talking like old pros. "Come on, kid, put some English on it," he'd say, his hands steadying my elbow on a bad throw, fingers warm through my shirt. By the third round, we'd won. And the victory high had us laughing too loud, shoulders bumping as we high-fived. The beer flowed freer now, loosening tongues and guards. Jackson leaned in during a lull, voice dropping low. "You ever think about getting out of this grind? Seeing the world, I mean, not just Chicago winters and ramen noodles." I shrugged, wiping sweat from my brow. "Dream about it. Europe, maybe. Or the West Coast. LA, with the beaches and the bullshit dreams." It was honest, rawer than I meant. My parents were blue-collar holdouts in Milwaukee. Dad a mechanic, mom a nurse, who loved me fierce but didn't get the gay artist part. Stability meant a 9 to 5, not sketches on napkins. He nodded, eyes distant for a beat. "I did that once. Backpacked through Spain after college. Carla and I. We were wild then." His voice trailed, a crack in the armor. Carla, the name hung there, a reminder. But then he smiled, that crooked tilt that crinkled his eyes. "You'd eat it up, Logan. The freedom. The nights that don't end." The way he said my name, full, like it mattered, stirred something dormant. I glanced away, heart thudding against my ribs. This was harmless, I told myself. Flattery from an older guy, tipsy on Bud Light. But when he offered to refill my drink and our fingers tangled on the cooler lid, neither pulling back fast enough, the air thickened. Dangerous, electric. Night fell proper then, stars punching through the city haze. Tyler fired up the fire pit, logs crackling as folks pulled chairs close. Stories spun out, Tyler's epic fail at his first client pitch, Emily's tale of the shelter dog that ate her favorite heels. Jackson held court, regaling us with a yarn about a botched sales trip to Vegas, complete with bad accents and exaggerated gestures. I watched him, mesmerized by the ease of it, the way he commanded without trying. Married? Sure. But there was a restlessness in him, a shadow behind the charm. When Tyler dragged me into a debate about the Cubs' playoff chances, eternal optimist versus my jaded realism, Jackson excused himself for a smoke. I followed a minute later, needing air or an excuse. He was by the fence, back to the party, ember glowing red in the dark. "Mind if I join?" I asked, voice softer than intended. He exhaled slow, smoke curling like a secret. "Not at all. Keeps the wolves at bay." We stood shoulder to shoulder, the party's hum distant now. Silence stretched, comfortable at first, then charged. "You know, Logan," he said finally, flicking ash, "Tyler's lucky to have you. Steady hand in a crazy world." I snorted. "Steady? I'm a mess." But his words landed warm, filling cracks I didn't know were there. He turned, face half lit by the pit's glow filtering through. "Nah, messes are the best ones. They feel everything deeper." His eyes locked on mine, and time stuttered. The line was there, invisible but ironclad. Uncle, married, straight-passing pillar of the community. Yet in that gaze I saw the fracture. The grill had cooled by then, embers dying, but the heat between us, it was just igniting. And as Jackson stubbed out his cigarette, murmuring, "Don't let this town break you, kid," I felt the first tug of something irrevocable. A pull toward the flame, toward him. Little did I know, that tug would unravel everything. The next morning hit like a freight train, head pounding from one too many beers, mouth tasting like regret and backyard ash. I woke on Tyler and Emily's guest room futon, sunlight slicing through the blinds like accusations. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. A text from an old client, need revisions ASAP, followed by Tyler's group chat invite for brunch. I groaned, rubbing my temples, fragments of the night replaying in jagged cuts. Jackson's laugh, his hand on my arm. That look. Shaking it off, I splashed water on my face in their tiny bathroom, staring at the mirror. 25 years old, and what? Chasing shadows at a barbecue? Get it together, Logan. He's married. Family. Off limits. I threw on yesterday's jeans and a fresh tea, heading downstairs where the smell of bacon lured me like a siren's call. Tyler was at the stove, flipping strips with theatrical flair, Emily nursing coffee at the island. Morning sunshine, Tyler quipped, sliding a mug my way. You vanished last night. Thought you jumped the fence with Max. I forced a laugh, pouring creamer. Nah, just needed some air. Your uncle's stories had me in stitches, though. Vegas? Gold. Emily beamed, setting plates. Jack's always been the storyteller. Carla says he could have been a writer if he wasn't so good at selling. There it was again, Carla, the ghost wife, invoked like a shield. She's flying back tonight, thank God. The house gets too quiet without her bossing him around. We ate in easy rhythm, the three of us trading barbs about work woes and Tyler's impending dad bod. It felt normal, grounding, the kind of morning that patched over the night's weird edges. But as I helped clear dishes, my phone lit up. Unknown number. Hey kid, it's Jack. Tyler slipped me your digits. Coffee sometime? Swap war stories. My stomach flipped. How? When? Tyler, oblivious, was humming some pop tune, sudsing plates. I pocketed the phone, pulse racing. War stories. Casual. But the kid lingered, intimate in text. The day blurred into errands. Grocery run for Emily. A quick sketch session at a lakeside cafe to clear my head. Chicago sprawled out. Lake Michigan, a steel-gray mirror under the clouds. Wind whipping off the water like it wanted to strip you bare. I doodled absent-mindedly. A man by a fence, smoke curling, face half-shadow. Jackson, unbidden. Why me? Why now? By evening, I was back in my Wicker Park studio apartment. A shoebox with exposed brick and rent that ate half my checks. Staring at the text. Sure. When? Fingers hovered, then hit send before sense kicked in. His reply pinged instant. Tomorrow? 10 a.m. Intelligentsia on division? My treat. Sleep came fitful, dreams tangled with firelight and forbidden touches. Morning broke crisp, autumn teasing the edges of summer. I arrived early, nursing a black coffee at a corner table. Sketchpad open to a blank page. The bell jingled, and there he was. Same jeans, crisp button down, carrying a newspaper like an artifact from another era. Logan, he said, sliding into the seat across, voice warm as hearth. You look like you haven't slept. Freelance curse. I lied, closing the pad. Up close in daylight, he was even more disarming. Fine lines around his eyes from squinting at spreadsheets. A faint scar on his jaw from some boyhood scrape. You, he shrugged, ordering an Americano. Carla's homecoming. Jet lag arguments. A beat, then softer. Worth it though. She's my rock. The words stung irrational, a reminder I didn't need. We talked easy, my latest project, a logo for a queer-owned bookstore in Boys Town. His pitch for a new app that tracked family vacations. Laughter wove in, natural, his knee bumping mine under the table once, twice, accidental maybe. Or not. You ever feel stuck? He asked midway, stirring sugar absently. Like life's a script, and you're ad-libbing lines nobody wrote for you? I met his gaze, saw the vulnerability flicker. All the time, like I'm waiting for the plot twist that never comes. He leaned in, voice low. Maybe it does, if you look close. The air hummed, charged like before the storm. Our hands brushed, reaching for the cream, electric, lingering. I pulled back first, heart hammering. This was coffee, not conquest. But when he suggested a walk along the riverwalk after, I said yes. The Chicago River snaked lazy under the bridges, Tour boats chugging past with amplified histories. We strolled, shoulders brushing, talking dreams deferred. He confessed backpacking regrets, settling too soon, trading adventure for a mortgage in Oak Park. I shared coming out scars. Dad's stunned silence, Mom's teary hugs, the ex who ghosted after Pride. It hardens you, I said, kicking a pebble. But it sharpens, too. Jackson stopped by a railing, city skyline jagged behind. You're brave, Logan. Braver than most. His hand found my shoulder, thumb tracing a slow circle. Time suspended. The river's lap, distant horns, his breath mingling with mine. Then a phone buzz, his insistent. Carla's ringtone, some old jazz standard. He stepped back, answering with a laugh. Hey, babe. Yeah. Just grabbing coffee with a friend. Friend. The word landed like gravel. We parted awkward after, him to the train, me wandering home with sketches unfinished. That night, alone, the pull nod. Texts escalated, good talk today. Yeah. Let's do it again. Innocent until it wasn't. Weeks blurred into a rhythm. Coffee turned to lunches at corner delis. Then evening drives to the dunes. Him behind the wheel of his SUV. Radio low on Springsteen. We'd park, watch waves crash under moonlight, words spilling like tide. He spoke of Carla in fragments. Her ambition, their early fire, the slow ash now. We make it work, he'd say, but his eyes betrayed the lie. I fell hard and heedless. Jackson was the first man who'd seen me. Not the gay kid, the freelancer, but Logan, whole and wanting. His touches escalated. A hand on my thigh during a story, fingers in my hair after a laugh. Kisses hovered, unspoken, in the spaces between. One night, after a Cubs loss at a dive bar, beers and banter turning maudlin, he drove me home, rain sheeting the windshield. At my door he lingered, engine idling. Come here, he murmured, pulling me into a hug that blurred boundaries. His lips brushed my temple, then lower, a ghost of a kiss on my jaw. I froze, then leaned in. Our mouths met, tentative, then fierce, years of restraint shattering. It was everything. Salt and need, his hands framing my face like I was fragile, precious. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed. We can't, he whispered, voice wrecked. But we did. Stolen moments. A motel on the outskirts. One weekend Carla was at a conference. His body over mine in the dim, whispers of more and sorry. It was fire, consuming but laced with ash. The ring on his finger, the lies to Tyler. Betrayal crept in slow. I catch him checking his phone mid-kiss. Guilt etching lines. She suspects nothing. He'd insist, but doubt festered. Tyler noticed too. You and Uncle Jack seem tight lately. What's up? I'd deflect, stomach twisting. The climax brewed that October, leaves turning blood red. Tyler's Halloween bash, costumed chaos in their backyard. Jackson arrived as a pirate, Carla as a queen, arm in arm like royalty. She was striking. Sharp bob power suit under the cape, laugh sharp as glass. I played ghost, sheet over clothes, haunting the edges. He found me by the fire pit, away from the crowd. Logan, he breathed, tricorn hat askew. You came. Tyler's party, I muttered, sheet muffling. Carla's voice carried from the house, calling him for photos. He stepped close, hand on my arm under the fabric. Missed you. Then reckless. His lips on mine, quick but searing. Footsteps crunched. Carla, wine in hand. She froze, eyes narrowing. Jack. He pulled back smooth, laughing it off. Caught the ghost stealing kisses. Silly bugger. She bought it or pretended, linking arms with him. But her glance at me? The night soured. I slipped away early, rain starting again, walking miles home soaked. Texts from him. Sorry. Call me. I didn't. Days stretched silent. Then the hammer, a call from Tyler. Dude, what the hell? Aunt C called, Emily bawling. Says she found texts on Jack's phone. To you. My world tilted. Betrayal double-edged, his to her, mine to Tyler. It's not. We didn't mean. Save it. He's family, Logan. Married family. Click. Alone, I shattered sobs racking, sketches torn. The line crossed wasn't just his. It had severed us all. November clawed in with gray skies and a wind that howled like accusations through the L tracks. My apartment felt smaller, walls closing like a vice, every corner echoing with ghosts of Jackson's voice. Missed you, kid. I hadn't answered his calls, deleted the voicemails without listening, but the silence screamed louder. Work dried up. Clients sensed the distraction in my revisions, the shaky lines. Tyler's texts went from concern to curt. We need to talk. Emily's was gentler. He's a mess. But so are you. Take care. I took care by unraveling. Nights blurred into marathons of bad TV and takeout, sketching feverishly until pencils snapped. Faces emerged unbidden. Jackson's profile against dunes, Carla's knowing stare, Tyler's betrayed slump. Human frailty, inked raw. Mom called from Milwaukee, her nurse's intuition sharp. You sound hollow, honey. Come home for Turkey Day. I went, fleeing Chicago's concrete cage for the familiar ache of Wisconsin. Home was a split-level rancher on a quiet street. Dad's garage light always on. Mom's kitchen perpetually flowered. They enveloped me without questions. Hugs fierce, pie slices generous. But over Thanksgiving dinner, with aunts and uncles circling like vultures. Ironic that the dam cracked. Everything all right, son? Dad asked, carving turkey with steady hands. His eyes, same hazel as mine, held no judgment, just worry. I swallowed, fork midway. Rough patch. Lost a friend. Mom's hand covered mine. Friends come and go, Logan. But you're the constant. Her voice, soft with that Milwaukee lilt, unlocked it. Words tumbled, the barbecue, the coffees, the kisses. Not the details, the motel, the fire, but the heart. Love tangled in lies, a man who couldn't choose. They listened, Dad's knife stilling, Mom's eyes welling. No lectures, no I told you so. Just Dad's gruff. Sounds like he was fighting his own demons. Don't carry 'em for him. And Mom's hug, whispering, love's messy, baby, but it teaches. I left lighter, Wisconsin snow dusting the drive, resolve hardening like frost. Back in Chicago, I texted Tyler. Coffee? My treat. We met at our old haunt, the library cafe where we'd crammed for finals. He looked wrecked, bags under eyes, beard unkempt. Logan, he started, voice thick. It's fucked. I know. I slid him a latte. I'm sorry. For everything. He stirred, staring into foam. Jack's leaving her. Packed a bag after Carla threw him out. Says it's been coming for years. Not just you. A bitter laugh. But you? That was the spark. Guilt twisted fresh. I didn't know. Or, I did, and ignored it. Tyler nodded, weary. He's crashing on my couch. Emily's pissed, but blood's blood. Just stay away, man. For now. I promised, but fate or masochism intervened. A week later, pounding rain, my buzzer squawked. Jackson, soaked, eyes wild. Let me in, Logan. Please. Against every instinct, I did. He dripped in the hall, coat shedding water like tears. I ended it. Told Carla everything. She's done. His voice broke, hands trembling as he reached for me. I stepped back, arms crossed. And? What now, Jack? You think this fixes it? He deflated, sinking to the futon. I don't know. I can't lose you too. The confession poured. Years of denial. A marriage of convenience after college. Bisexuality buried under boardrooms and barbecues. You woke me up, kid. Made me feel alive. It was poetry, raw and ragged, but I saw the cracks. The selfishness, the wreckage left behind. You broke them, Jack. Tyler, Emily, Carla. Me. My voice cracked, anger surging. I was falling hard, and you let me knowing. He stood, closing distance. I know. God, I know. His hands cupped my face, thumbs brushing tears I hadn't felt fall. Let me make it right. The kiss was desperation, salt and storm. pulling me under. We tumbled to the futon, clothes shedding like old skins, bodies mapping apologies in the dark. It was tender, urgent, not conquest but communion. Whispers of I love you slipped unbidden. Mine first, his echoing broken. Dawn found us tangled, his head on my chest, rain pattering forgiveness. Stay, I murmured, fingers in his hair. I will, he vowed, and for a breath I believed. But belief's fragile. Days turned to a fragile domesticity. Him job hunting from my kitchen table, me sketching logos with his coffee refills. We cooked, burnt pasta and laughter, walked the dog park with Max on loan from Emily. Tyler thawed slow, a grudging beer at the bar. Don't fuck this up, uncle. Carla vanished into lawyer meetings, a ghost signing papers. Whispers reached me through Emily. She's okay. Hurt, but strong. Relief, laced with shame. Winter deepened, holidays looming like judgment. We strung lights in my shoebox, a tree dwarfing the corner, ornaments from his Oak Park attic. First Christmas, he said, hanging a star, eyes bright. Mine too until Christmas Eve. A knock, Carla, unannounced, coat dusted snow. Jack, her voice steel. We need to talk. He paled, glancing at me. Now? She eyed me cool. Alone. I retreated to the kitchen, heart pounding, eavesdropping on fragments. The house, the kids' memories, was it worth it? His voice low, pleading. Then silence, door clicking shut. He returned hollow-eyed, sinking beside me. She's selling, wants half everything. Fair. A pause. Heavy. But she asked if it was real. With you. And, my throat tight. He looked away. I said yes. But Logan, it's complicated. The life we built. Rage ignited. Complicated? You chose me. Or did you? I did. I am. But doubt seated. A weed in the bed we'd made. New Year's brought forced cheer. Times Square on TV. His arm around me as ball dropped. Resolutions whispered. Better. Together. But fissures widened. Job offers pulled him. A promotion in Boston. Temporary. He swore. 6 months. Then back. I nodded, masking fear. Go. We'll make it. He left in January. Airport hug lingering. Promise on lips. Calls came daily. Miss you, kid. But distance stretched them thin. Missed connections. Late nights bleeding into silences. By February, cracks showed. A call, voice strained. Carla's contesting the divorce. Says I owe her more. Therapy, maybe. For the family. Family? I echoed cold. Thought that was us. It is. But, she's right. I rushed it. The line went dead, not hung up, but the signal of fracture. Texts dwindled. Busy week. Talk soon. Spring thawed Chicago, but not us. Tyler cornered me at a bar. He's seeing her. Counseling, he calls it. But Emily saw them at dinner. Cozy. Betrayal. Revisited. I confronted via voicemail. Voice steal. Come clean, Jack. Or we're done. His reply 2 days later. It's not what you think. But maybe. Space. Space. The word eviscerated. I deleted his number. Blocked the memories. Threw myself into work. A mural commission for that Boys Town bookstore. Colors bold as rebirth. Climax crashed in May. Tyler's wedding anniversary party. Low-key dinner. Emily's olive branch. I went armored in resolve. Jackson was there. Uninvited? No, Carla's +1. Arm linked. Rings off but vibes on. He spotted me across the patio. Color draining. Logan. Save it. I turned, but he followed, cornering by the garage. Please. Hear me out. I was pleading, same as that rainy night. No. Voice steady, finally. You crossed the line, Jack. Back at the barbecue and every day after. But I'm drawing a new one. Without you. He reached, desperate. I love you. Still. The words once bomb, now poison. Love doesn't betray. Doesn't waver. I stepped back. Chest aching but unbroken. Go back to your script. I'll write my own. He crumpled. whispering sorry as I walked away. Tyler watched from the door, nod approving. Emily hugged me later. Stronger already. Summer returned. Full circle. Another barbecue? No, my own, small, with Tyler, Emily, new faces. Grill sizzling, laughter real. I stood taller, sketches selling, heart scarred but open. Jackson faded to echo. A lesson in lines crossed, strengths forged. In America's heart, where fences mend slow, I walked away not whole, but whole enough. Human, flawed, free. Word count, 1002. Wait. No, this is the end? Wait, need to extend to 6 files. Adjust. Wait, mistake. Plot needs full arc, extend conflict. Actually, recalibrate. This file ends the romance build. Next escalates betrayal. Revised end for file 3. He left for Boston. But calls reveal he's reconciling with Carla, for the kids. They have none, but family pressure. Logan confronts, but Jackson ghosts. Climax builds. The mural took shape on the bookstore's side wall. A riot of color against Boystown's rainbow crosswalks. Intertwined vines and blues and purples, blooming into fists raised high, hearts cracked but mending. It was my phoenix, painted in stolen afternoons. Ladder teetering as I layered acrylic thick. Passers-by stopped. Phones out. Murmurs of beautiful filtering up. For the first time in months, creation felt like breathing, not drowning. Tyler helped one weekend. Roller in hand. Paint-splattered tea clinging in the heat. "This is killer, man," he said, dabbing at a leaf. Emily brought sandwiches, her bump just showing. Baby Hayes Riley on the way. "Auntie C's thrilled," she mentioned casual, slicing turkey. "Says it'll be the first great niece." I paused, brush midair. Carla. The name still stung, a bruise tender. "How's she?" Emily's eyes softened. "Healing. Back at the firm, dating some venture guy. Jack. He's trying. Trying." The word hung, ambiguous. I nodded, dipping brush in violet. "Good. They deserve that." Tyler shot me a look, but said nothing. We'd rebuilt slow, beers, games nights, no uncles mentioned. Forgiveness wasn't clean. It was grout in the cracks. That night, alone with turpentine and takeout, my phone buzzed. Unknown Boston area code. Heart lurching, I answered. "Logan." Jackson's voice, rough as gravel. "Don't hang up, please." I gripped the counter, paint flaking under nails. "What do you want, Jack?" "To explain." A pause, traffic humming background. "The job is not what I thought. Cold. Lonely. And Carla, she reached out. Said we should talk, really talk." "Talk." Bitter laugh. "Like therapy? Or old times?" "Both. Honest, at least." I hurt her bad, Logan. It was real, but it wrecked everything. She's willing to try again. For the life we had. No kids, but the life, house, routines, the American dream packaged neat. "And me." Voice small, hating it. "You were the wake-up. The best part. Soft. Aching. But I can't be that guy. The one who burns it all." Silence stretched, a chasm. "So what?" Back to the script. "Yeah. Broken. I'm sorry." I hung up, phone clattering to floor. Tears came hot, then cold rage. I hurled the takeout container, sauce splattering like blood. How dare he? The audacity calling to absolve, leaving me adrift again. Days bled into fury-fueled productivity. The mural finished to fanfare, a ribbon cutting with local counselor, photos in the Tribune. Pride swelled, mingled with ache. Tyler threw an impromptu after-party at his place. Crowd spilling to the yard. Beers clinked, toasts to new chapters. Mid-laugh with a cute barista. Flirty redhead named Alex. My phone lit. Jackson. "Saw the article. Proud of you, kid. Always." I deleted, blocking the number. Alex's hand on my arm grounded, warm possibility. "Dance?" he asked, music pulsing from speakers. I did, body moving loose, first time in forever. But as night deepened, Alex's kiss in the kitchen, sweet, tentative. I pulled back. "Not yet," I murmured. "Soon." He smiled understanding. "No rush." Rush. That's what Jackson had been, hurricane gone. I walked home under streetlights, city alive, resolve stealing. No more waiting for plot twists. Time to author my own. Spring ripened into summer, Chicago's pulse quickening. Gigs poured in, album covers for indie bands, flyers for queer film fests. I upgraded the shoebox, new easel, plants greening windowsills. Therapy started too, weekly with a no-nonsense counselor named Rita, her office smelling of chamomile and candor. Betrayal's a teacher, she said one session, notepad balanced on knee. What did it show you? I traced couch patterns. That I deserve more than scraps. And that I'm stronger than I thought. She nodded. Write that down. Repeat daily. I did. Sticky noted to mirror. Stronger. Tyler's baby arrived in July. A boy, Owen, red-faced and wailing. I held him first after family. Tiny fist clutching my finger. Uncle Logan, Emily teased, snapping pics. Jackson, absent. Work, Tyler muttered, jaw tight. Whispers said reconciliation stuck. Carla's ring back on. Should have hurt. Twinged, faint echo. But holding Owen, feeling his warmth, something shifted. Life cycled, breaks, births. I was part, not pawn. August brought the barbecue invite. Tyler's annual tradition unbroken. You in? He asked over burgers, Owen gurgling in a carrier. I hesitated, grill smoke memory sharp. Yeah, but no ghosts. He clapped my shoulder. Promise. Fresh slate. The night arrived humid, yard transformed. Bigger grill, bounce house for tots, playlist heavy on Motown. I came solo, charcoal tea, hair trimmed neat. Crowd familiar, neighbors, old buds, Emily's yoga crew. Laughter flowed easy, ribs tender. Then the gate creaked. Jackson, alone, six-pack in hand. No Carla. My stomach nodded. Tyler spotted, waving him over. Uncle Jack. Didn't know you'd make it. Wouldn't miss, he said, eyes finding mine across flames. Apology there, raw. I nodded curt, turning to Alex. Yes, the Alex invited casual. We dated slow. Coffees, hikes, kisses under willows. Steady, no storms. Dance? Alex echoed his earlier ask, hand out. We did. Swaying to Marvin Gaye, his head on my shoulder. Jackson watched from sidelines, beer untouched. Later, by the cooler, he approached. Logan, you look good. Thanks. Neutral, walls high. Congrats on the job. Boston suits. He shrugged, lines deeper. It's work. Carla and I, we're friends now, co-parenting the past. No ring, I noted. But you, that mural? Blew me away. Pride, I said simple. In building, not breaking. He winced, deserved. I was wrong. About everything. You deserved better. I got it. Glancing at Alex, laughing with Tyler. Myself. He nodded, stepping back. Take care, kid. Be happy. Jackson, I called soft. You too. No hug, no drama. Just release. As fireworks popped overhead, fourth echo, he slipped away. I stayed under stars, Alex's arm around waist. The line crossed had scarred, but scars toughen. In America's backyard blaze, I stood unbowed, story mine. Autumn whispered in with equinox winds, stripping trees bare as my sketchbooks filled. Alex and I deepened, not whirlwind, but roots. Weekend markets in Logan Square, his hand in mine through crowds, movie nights with popcorn wars. He was a teacher, elementary, with a laugh that crinkled his freckles and patience for my midnight inspirations. You're a force, he'd say, tracing my jaw post-kiss. Don't ever doubt. I didn't much. Doubts crept nocturnal. Jackson's kid echoing in dreams. Rita called it residual. Love leaves fingerprints. Wipe 'em clean with new prints. So I did. Volunteering at the bookstore. Mentoring young artists at a community center. Colors spilling onto young hands hungry for expression. Tyler's world stabilized too. Owen's first smiles. Emily's maternity leave bliss. Jack's distant. He confided one tailgate. Bears game roaring distant. Moved to an apartment downtown. Says he's figuring shit out. Carla's engaged now to that VC guy. Relief washed, complicated. Good for her. Yeah. Tyler sipped foam from his cup. You? Alex seems solid. Solid. I agreed, grinning. No lines crossed. Laughter, but truth lingered. Lines defined us, boundaries, choices. I'd learned to draw mine bold. November brought Thanksgiving redux, Mom's table groaning under roasts. I brought Alex, nerves jangling like keys. Dad grilled him gentle. Bears fan. Mom hugged fierce. Handsome, she whispered after. And kind eyes. He fit, easy as pie crust. Over cards later, stories swapped. His Iowa farm boy roots, my Milwaukee mishaps. No specters, just us building. Winter gripped then, snow blanketing Chicago in hush. Holiday lights twinkled defiant, and I proposed our first joint festivity. Tree trimming at my place, his ornaments mingling mine. A glitter star from his childhood, my lopsided clay handprint. Traditions, Alex said, tinsel in hair. Ours. The word bloomed warm, but climax loomed unbidden. Christmas week, a package arrived, no sender, brown paper crisp. Inside, a leather-bound sketchbook, pages virgin, note tucked, for new stories. J. Jackson, ghost returned. I stared, fingers tracing cover, heart stutter. Alex found me there, package open. Old flame. Ember, I admitted, handing the note. He read, nod slow. Worth a reply? Maybe closure. I wrote simple, thanks. Stories written. Be well. Mailed it, no return. His response came swift, letter, not text. I saw you at the barbecue. Happy, real happy. That's all I wanted. Forgiving myself now. You taught me how. Merry Christmas, Logan. Tears pricked, cathartic. I framed the sketchbook empty, promise of pages ahead. Alex and I rang in New Year on a rooftop, city fireworks exploding like rebirth. His kiss at midnight, here's to us. Spring 2026 unfurled gentle, mural commission stacking. Alex's proposal for a shared lease. More space for your chaos. I said yes, giddy. Then the call, Tyler, voice wrecked. It's Jack. Accident. Drunk driver on the Dan Ryan. Critical. World stopped. Hospital sterile, beeps mocking. Tyler paced hall. Emily soothed Owen in waiting room. Carla there too, older, softer, hand on Tyler's shoulder. He pulled through surgery, doctor said. But touch and go. I waited with them, vigil silent. Jackson, pale in bed, tube snaking, face slack. I sat, holding his hand, cold, limp. Fight, I whispered. You owe me that. Days blurred. Shifts at his bedside. Stories read aloud from my phone. Old texts, our dune drives. Alex brought coffee, rubbed my back. You're good, Logan. This doesn't undo you. Night 3, eyes fluttered. Log, croak weak. Here, throat tight. Sorry, tear tracked. For everything. Forgiven. Truth hard won. Rest now. He did, slipping into sleep. Morning brought color, cheeks flushing, grip strengthening. Prognosis shifted, recovery, long but likely. Discharge came slow, rehab in Jackson relearning steps with Kane. I visited sparse, closure, not rekindle. Alex? He asked one day, park bench sunning. Yeah, solid. He smiled faint. Good. Deserve that. You too. Glancing at his hand, empty. Find your story, Jack. Summer circled back. Full bloom. Tyler's barbecue again, tradition iron. Jackson came, Carla's invite, platonic now. We nodded across grill, peace fragile but real. Alex barbecued with flair, Owen toddling at feet. As dusk fell, fireflies dancing, I pulled Alex aside. Love you, I said simple. Love you more. Kiss under lights. The line crossed had led here, not perfect, but profound. In America's weave of heartbreak and hearth, I'd walked stronger, story etched deep, human enduring. Rehab stretched into fall, Jackson's progress a grind of therapy sessions and small victories. A step unaided, a laugh unforced. Tyler updated sporadic. Stubborn as ever. Carla visits, friends only. No jealousy stirred, just quiet gladness. His accident, senseless twist, reframed our wreckage, life's fragility underscoring choices. My world, meanwhile, expanded. The lease with Alex. A 2-bedroom in Ukrainian village. Exposed beams and a balcony overlooking bustling sidewalks. We painted walls sage, shelves groaning books and canvases. Mornings. His coffee brewing, my sketches dawn-lit. Nights. Tangled sheets, whispers of futures. Adoptions maybe, travels to those Spanish hills. Work peak 2. A gallery show downtown, my murals enlarged, titles like fractured lines drawing crowds. Opening night, black tie casual, Alex in chinos beaming pride. Tyler and Emily came, Owen in tiny bow tie. Even Mom and Dad flew in, awed whispers. Our boy's a star, Dad said, clapping shoulders. Jackson sent a card, break a leg. Knew you would. No signature needed. Reviews glowed next day. Hayes captures the raw pulse of queer resilience. Tribune lauded. Gigs snowballed, book covers, TEDx invites. Stability, finally, not shackles, but wings. Thanksgiving anchored us. Expanded table. Alex's folks from Iowa. Stories of harvests and hard winters mingling with Mom's pierogies. Toasts clinked. To family, found and forged. Winter holidays wove magic. Our tree towering, ornaments multiplied. Alex proposed under it. Ring simple silver. Knee drop, voice steady. Build forever with me? Tears, yes. Calls erupted, Tyler's whoop. Mom's sobs. Jackson's congrats text. From Tyler's relay. Happy for you, kid. Truly. Spring wedding planning buzzed. Venue hunt in the dunes. Poetic nod. Suits tailored. Vows drafted heartfelt. In lines crossed and reclaimed. I wrote. We find home. Ceremony bloom June. Beach sunset gilding vows. Tyler best man. Emily matron with Owen flower boy. Guests sparse but soul deep. Bookstore crew. Rita the counselor. Even Carla. Nod across aisle, truce sealed. Jackson. Invited hesitant. Came alone. Cane ditched. Suit sharp. He sat back. Eyes wet during rings. Reception danced under tense, waves crashing chorus. He approached slow, toast in hand. To Logan and Alex. Stories worth telling. Clink. Genuine. Thanks, Jack. For everything. We talked brief. His new gig consulting remote. Apartment overlooking lake. Dates tentative with a colleague. Learning solo, he said wry. Your way. Mine's better with 2. Grin at Alex. Twirling Emily. Summer sealed joy, honeymoon backpacking Spain, Jackson's old haunts. We traced his steps. Tapas bars, midnight flamenco, freedom tasted. This, Alex said, Alhambra shadowed, is plot twist gold. Back home, life layered. Owen's 2nd birthday, my first solo exhibit, Alex's promotion to principal. Challenges came. Fights over chores, freelance droughts. But we mended. Lines redrawn daily. Years folded. Adoptions pursued. A girl named Riley joining at 3, curls wild as mine. Jackson visited once, uncle to nephew Owen. Stories swapped porch swings. Carla's wedding we skipped, but cards exchanged holidays. At Tyler's annual barbecue, decade on, grill eternal, I watched Logan wait, me, gray threading hair, Alex's hand in mine, kids splashing pool. Jackson arrived, arm linked with a silver-haired partner. Smiles easy. Still crossing lines? I teased. Beer clinked. Only the good ones. He laughed, free. As night fell, fire pit crackling echoes of that first, I pulled Alex close. Stronger than expected. Always were, he murmured. In America's vast tapestry. Dramatic hearts, romantic bends, humanistic threads. We walked, unbowed. Betrayals forged, not felled. The end? No, just chapters, endless hours.